Magandang araw sa inyo lahat.
Ako nga pala si Teacher Jane.
At ako si Teacher John.
And I am Teacher Jenny. So before we start our class, please arrange your chairs and pick up some pieces of paper. So thank you. So now, are you ready to begin our discussion? Yes, don't worry. Teacher John will begin the lessons.
Okay, so before we begin our topic for material cycling, let us have some warm-up questions so that we will be introduced to our topic. Number one question is, it traps energy from the sun and converts it in the form of chemical energy for food. What do you think is the answer? May I call Janelle? What's your answer?
Plants.
Okay? It is plants. Your answer is correct. Now, the second question is the total dry mass of organisms in the food chain and food web. What do you think is the answer? Renee Jane, what's the answer? Very good. Your answer is correct. It is biomass. Okay? Third question. Organisms that eat plants. What do you think are organisms that eat plants?
Herbivores.
Very good. It is. They are called herbivores. They are organisms that eat plants, and they are also called primary consumers. Number 4 answer. It is the source of energy used by plants for photosynthesis. What is the answer? It is the sunlight or the sun itself. So, you are correct. Last question. The trend in the amount of the biomass as it is. What is the answer? Of course, yes, you are correct. It is decreasing. So, now, I think you are all ready for the discussion. So, let us begin the discussion about material cycling. So, right now, at the end of these lessons, our objectives will be to describe and explain the processes involved in the material cycling within and out of the ecosystem. Number 2, to demonstrate and appreciate for the interconnectedness of life of an ecosystem and recognize the importance of maintaining balance for the sustainability of life on Earth. And last but not the least, to be able to construct a 2D model of water cycle. So for the first cycle, let us give the floor to our teacher, Jane.
Thank you for that, Mr. John. So now, are you all excited to learn about water cycle? Yes, so I know you are all excited. So before that, I have an activity to you. You will complete the table and indicate the different processes involved in the different cycle. So now, I need 3 volunteers to answer the different processes involved in this cycle. So, who wants to volunteers? Okay, you can come here in front. So, very good. So, the different processes involved in water cycle, it includes the precipitation, condensation, and evaporation. For the oxygen, carbon dioxide cycle, it's all about photosynthesis and respiration. And the other one is the nitrogen cycle, which is the fixation, ammonification, and nitrification. So these are just some processes involved in this different material cycle. So now, I will tackle about the water cycle. So now, are you all excited to learn about the water cycle? Yes, so I guess you are all excited. So now, who wants an activity about water cycle? Okay, right. So now, I need 10 representatives. So I need 2 groups, 5 representatives in each group. So this is the group 1 and this is the group 2. So the 5 representatives, each group will come here in front. I have a material here and you will create a 2D model water cycle. So now, are you ready? So come here in front. So very good. You have created the 2D model water cycle. So please stay here in front because I have some question about you guys. So for the group number 1, since you have put there the evaporation process, what happens during evaporation process? Yes, you are correct. During evaporation process, the liquid water will turn into the gas and evaporate into the air. So what do you think? What do you think the energy factors that makes the water to evaporate? Yes, you are correct. It's all about the temperature. So the water has higher temperature, it will generally lead to faster evaporation. So because it will lead to faster evaporation because they increase the kinetic energy of water molecules, allowing them to escape in the atmosphere faster. So that's right. No? So you also put there the condensation process. So what happens during condensation process? Yes, you are correct. During condensation process, the air cools and it forms into clouds or dew. So thank you, Group 1, for your participation. You can come back to your seats. So now let's proceed to Group 2. Yes, you are very good also because you have created a 2D model water cycle. So you have also put there the precipitation. So what happens during precipitation? Yes, during precipitation, the water or liquid that forms in the atmosphere will fall back into the earth. So what do you think are the physical evidences of precipitation? Yes, you are correct. It's the rain or snow. So in your own understanding, how important is water cycle process? Yes, you are correct. So water cycle process is crucial for sustaining life on Earth. So thank you for your participation. You may go back to your seats. So that's it for your activity. So now, are you ready to dig deeper about water cycle? Yes, thank you. I guess you are all ready. We already know that water covers 71% of the Earth's surface. So most part of the Earth is covered with water. It supports life, drains harmful substances, and arbitrates day-to-day activities. So, by the way, the water cycle is the continuous movement of water through the atmosphere, land, and bodies of water. It is also called the hydrological cycle. So, it composes different processes, which is the evaporation, condensation, precipitation, transpiration, surface runoff, and infiltration. So, during evaporation process, the solar energy heating the water create molecules to gain enough energy to escape into the atmosphere, and that's what evaporation happens. So, for the next processes, it involves condensation. So, condensation is the process where water vapor in the air cools and changes back into liquid water, forming a clouds or dew. So, during condensation, the colder temperature in the troposphere causes the water vapor to lose its heat and turns back into liquid water known as condensate. So, in the colder temperature, the liquid water will turn into ice. So that's it for the condensation. So for the another one is the precipitation. So the precipitation is the water or liquid that forms in the atmosphere that falls back into the earth. So we already know that physical evidences earlier that you said it's all about the rain, snow, or the sleets. No, that's all about the precipitation. So for the next process, it involves infiltration. So the flow of water from the surface into the soil. So during infiltration, some water precipitates, seeps through the pores of the soil and forms groundwater in the aquifers. Also, we already know that aquifers are underground layer of rock that holds groundwater. So when water seeps down, it will increase the level of groundwater table. So the groundwater table, it can be accessed by digging or drilling. So that's it for the infiltration process. So another one process is called the surface runoff. So surface runoff is the manner by which water moves across the ground or the lands. Surface runoff occurs when water can no longer infiltrate the ground because of impermeable rocks, or when the ground is already saturated with water. So water will flow through the surface. So that's it for the surface runoff. So that will be all for the water cycle. So again, I will summarize it. It's all about the processes involved, the evaporation, condensation, transpiration, precipitation, surface runoff, and heat infiltration. So for the next topic, which is the oxygen carbon dioxide cycle, it will be tackled by teacher Jenny. Hello everyone, I am your teacher Jenny, and today you will learn the oxygen and carbon dioxide cycle. So do you have any idea about the oxygen and carbon dioxide cycle? Okay, so now I will be discussing it to you. So what is the oxygen and carbon dioxide cycle? So as for you to know, the oxygen is the most abundant chemical elements of the earth, and it is the driver of the air, the oxygen. Pero ating tandaan na ang oxygen ay isa lamang sa mga proseso ng chemical element na bumubuo sa hangin. So next, let's tackle the carbon dioxide. What is the carbon dioxide? So carbon dioxide is a gas formed from the carbon, which we get from the food we eat. However, the plants need the carbon dioxide in order for them to survive. So plants release the oxygen, animals and humans release the carbon dioxide. Plants needed the carbon dioxide, and animals and humans need the oxygen. So that is called the oxygen and carbon dioxide cycle. So plants have their ability to create their food called, yes, exactly, it is the photosynthesis. So the photosynthesis is a way to make the plants food, and during this process, the photosynthesis, the plants create the starch, which is the food. And then, when they create the starch, they release the oxygen as a result. The oxygen is their waste product. And then, when they release the oxygen, it will release in the tiny opening leaves called stomata. So that is the reason why the atmosphere have the oxygen. So today we have a 21% of oxygen in our atmosphere. So when the oxygen is released to the atmosphere, the humans and the animals breathe in the oxygen. As we inhale the oxygen, it enters to our body through our lungs. And then, oxygen helps our cells to continue functioning. Oxygen is very essential for us, humans and animals, to survive. It is needed to change our food and our water for us to intake and to have energy. So, as human and animals release the carbon dioxide, the plants takes this in. So, are you familiar with this process? Yes, it is the photosynthesis. Since it is a cycle, the process will keep repeating and repeating and repeating. So, as I've discussed earlier, all things are connected. As we take something from our environment, we also need to provide something. So class, do you want to know about the nitrogen cycle? Let's call Teacher John.
Once again, good day everyone. I hope you are ready for today's discussion about nitrogen cycle. So, when we say nitrogen cycle, it is the process in which nitrogen in our atmosphere will be used in biological processes. But that is not easy because in our atmosphere, and do you know that in our atmosphere we are abundant. Our atmosphere is very abundant with nitrogen. In fact, almost 50% of our atmosphere is made up of nitrogen. But the problem is that nitrogen in our atmosphere is a nitrogen molecule. When we say molecule, it means that it is a bond of two nitrogen. And because it is a bond of two nitrogen, it is a very strong bond. And that our body has no enzyme that will break that two bond or a nitrogen molecule. So that's why we need a cycle for it to be break down, and it will be used for biological processes. And that is our lesson for today, the nitrogen cycle. So, as I have said, that that nitrogen cycle is, nitrogen is very, very abundant in our atmosphere. Nitrogen will come in and out of your body. You will inhale it and you will exhale it. But the problem is that it will be useless because your body cannot use it for biological processes. So, the good news is, merong good news, guys. The good news is, we have this nitrogen-fixing bacteria, or what we call as the denitrifying bacteria. The denitrifying bacteria has the capability to break the bond within a nitrogen molecule. So, what will happen is that, because of the denitrifying bacteria, it will become a gas. So, nitrogen cycle, because our body needs it, but we cannot absorb it because it is a very strong bond. The nitrogen cycle is the process in which nitrogen moves in the atmosphere and in the plants, in animals, and in soil, undergoing various transformations such as fixations, nitrifications, and denitrifications. So, take note of that word because those are the things that we are going to tackle for today. The fixation, nitrification, and denitrification. So, let's start with nitrogen fixation. As what I have said, the good news is that there is a denitrifying bacteria or a nitrogen-fixing bacteria which breaks down the nitrogen. So this is what we call as nitrogen fixation, because nitrogen fixation is the process in which nitrogen gas is converted into nitrates or ammonia. So what happens during our nitrogen fixation? What happens is that the triple bond nitrogen will be break down into two. It will be break down, and this bacteria will replace it with oxygen in between, making it as ammonia. So it will now become an ammonia gas. So because of that denitrifying bacteria, in which they will fix nitrogen molecule, nitrogen will now become absorbable by plants, and that is what we call as the nitrogen assimilation. It is the process in which nitrogen or nitrates is absorbed or combined into specific tissue and compounds of algae and decomposers such as fungi and a higher form of plants. And as we all know that we human or living things are the primary consumers of plants. And that will now be the time that nitrogen will become useful to the body when human or animals will eat the plants that has nitrates or ammonia in it caused by nitrogen assimilation. So our next process is called ammonification, or the turning of nitrogen into ammonium or NH4. This is also done by the nitrogen-fixing bacteria because there are two products of nitrogen-fixing bacteria. It is the NO3 or nitrates and NH4 or the ammonium. The ammonium is usable by living organisms, while as nitrates or the NO3 is usable by plants. And the next process is what we call as the nitrification. It is a process by which soil ammonia are converted to nitrates, then nitrates compound usable by plants, or what we call as the nitrogen assimilation. So the next process, or the last process of nitrogen cycle is what we call as denitrification. Because denitrification, through the process of anaerobic inhalation from respiration from bacteria, ammonium or NH4 and nitrates NO3 will be released from the body of bacteria and will once again become nitrogen molecule or N2. So that's the process of nitrogen cycle. So there are three stages of nitrogen cycle. Number one is the assimilation or the nitrogen assimilation. Number two is the ammonification or the nitrification. And lastly, the denitrification or the turning of ammonium and nitrates into nitrogen molecule. It is needed because for us to benefit from from nitrogen, we need this denitrifying bacteria which will be absorbed by plants, which will be eaten by primary consumers, and which will be eaten by human. And through that cycle, we are benefiting from nitrogen. Because as we all know, nitrogen is one of the biological elements that is needed for life. So that's all. Thank you. So that's the end of our class for today. That's the end of our discussions. We have tackled about material cycling that includes water cycle, oxygen and carbon cycle, and lastly the nitrogen cycle. Do you have any questions? If there is none, then let's go to our evaluation. So since you have no more questions, may I request Teacher Janelle and Teacher Jane to come in front for the evaluation.
So now, we will go to the evaluation if you have learned something from our discussions. So now, I will give you the test papers that will be distributed by Teacher Jane to test the knowledge that you gain. Thank you.
Again, magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Ako nga pala si Teacher Jane.
At ako naman si Teacher Jani.
At ako si Teacher Jan, at sana may natutunan kayo sa araw na ito.
Paalam at maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.